as the Democrats are imploding, the Republicans are making efforts to begin their own implosion. Because, I mean, Republicans, they got to figure out a way to clown something, right? They're about to clearly win a seat in Delaware. Mike Castle has this huge lead. They're like, how do we screw it up? Why don't we give it to the witch, non-witch, Christine O'Donnell? And she's going to lose that seat for them. They might have had the Senate if it weren't for that, right? So they're trying to figure out how to, cause themselves great damage. So they're going to start internal fighting. Now, why? Because there's a lot of people who are running for president in 2012 on the Republican side, and they're running against one another. Now, you know who doesn't bring a knife to a gunfight? Republicans. They bring Uzis. And now they're bringing them against each other because the presidency is on the line. They smell the blood in the water, okay? They think Obama's in a lot of trouble. They think the Democrats are in a lot of trouble. So they think, oh my God, I could be president of the United States of America. So who do you have at play here? You got Mitt Romney. You got Tim Pawlenty, the former governor of Minnesota. You got Haley Barbour, governor of Mississippi. You've got Newt Gingrich. And of course, you have Sarah Palin. Now, last week, Karl Rove began the attack on Sarah Palin because there are people inside the Republican establishment who can't stand her and who want to make sure that she gets taken down before they have to face her in a primary. This week, she's going to fight back against Rove, and then she's got new enemies on the way. First to fight back against Rove, she's on at Fox News Channel, of course, clip number 1.
Karl Rove said the other day, you did a great job as a vice presidential candidate in 08. You know where I'm going to go with this, but he added this, and let's put it up on the screen. With all due candor, appearing on your own reality show on Discovery Channel, he had that wrong, I am not certain how that fits in the American calculus of that helps me see you in the Oval Office. There are high standards that the American people have for it, the presidency, and they require a certain level of gravitas.
You know, I agree with that, those standards have to be high for someone who would ever want to run for president. Like, wasn't Ronald Reagan an actor? Wasn't he in Bedtime for Bozo, something? Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Oh,
now, look at, I'm not in a reality show. I have 8 episodes documenting Alaska's resources, what it is that we can contribute to the rest of the U.S. to economically and physically secure our union. And my family comes along on the ride because I am family. Family is us. And my family comes along on the ride to document these 8 episodes for the Learning Channel and Discovery Channel.
All right,
so
well, wait a minute.
Carl's,
no, wait a minute.
He's wrong right there in calling it a reality show.
Wait a minute. That doesn't make any kind of sense. It's a reality show. There's no disputing it. This is not some sort of documentary on Alaskan oil reserves. It's a reality show, including her family, going around Alaska. Okay? Second of all, what are you, Barney? I am family. Family's you and me. I don't even know the rhyme. Me and you, we're all frickin' family. Okay, get out. I mean, of course, that's why people are concerned about her. Listen to her. She sounds like an idiot. I can't understand somebody that looks at that and goes, nailed it. Brilliant. Brilliant, really. So now that I told you Rove went after her, and this is her response. Now in Politico, other Republican insiders going after him. All anonymously, of course, they don't want to get caught on the record as doing this. So here's how Politico describes it. Some of these Republican insiders are calling her, quote, a disaster in waiting, okay? Here's another one. They speak, this is Politico that I'm quoting. Most of them speak dismissively and condescendingly about her in private. And here comes the killer quote. This is from what Politico describes as a prominent and longtime Washington Republican. Quote, there is a determined, focused establishment effort to find a candidate we can coalesce around who can beat Sarah Palin. We believe she could get the nomination, but Barack Obama would crush her. Now, that's not just their belief. There's polling to back that up. Only 27% of the country believes that she's qualified to be president. That's a disastrously low number. Unfortunately for the Republicans, 55% of Republicans think she is qualified and can be president. And among Tea Party supporters, that goes up to past 70%. So she can win the primaries and then run into a brick wall in the general election, okay? So if the Republicans are concerned, they're right to be concerned. But they're not just doing this out of the goodness of their own heart. These are guys who are backing the people who are going to run. Look, I'm guessing here, but this has got Mitt Romney written all over it. This is exactly the kind of thing Mitt Romney does, where he's like, what do you mean? Oh, Politico had an article like that? Who could have seen that coming? Oh, golly gee willikers, that's a shame. So now Sarah Palin has to strike back against that. She goes on Fox News again. I told you there was a war coming. I told you at the end of last week. Of course this is a war. So Palin says, I don't think the paper that we just printed this article on, it's not even worth wrapping my king salmon in. Brilliant Alaskan reference. I'll just ignore this crap. No, you won't. You'll spend, dozens of minutes talking about it on Fox News and everywhere else, because here she goes. She then goes on to talk about it more and more, and she counters, quote, Politico, Mike Allen, and Jim Vandehei, they're jokes. This is a joke to have unnamed sources tearing somebody apart limb by limb. But look at that. She thinks she's being torn apart limb by limb, that this is a serious hit job on her. Now we're having fun. Okay. Now we got a war on our hands. So after the election, the other fun part is the war of Republicans tearing each other limb by limb. That one's going to be fun.